Let's dive into the enchanting world of the tiny Galago, also known as the bush baby, a wide-eyed, gravity-defying marvel of the African night. Despite their small size, these nocturnal primates are loaded with abilities that put even comic book superheroes to shame. Here's a detailed and awestruck look at why the Galago is truly the nighttime wonder. The Galago, nature's pocket-sized superhero. Super senses, night vision like no other, owl eyes and a furry face. Galagos have gigantic forward-facing eyes relative to their head size, giving them binocular vision and incredible depth perception in low light. Their eyes are so adapted to darkness that they glow eerily when light hits them, thanks to a reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum. Built-in night goggles. These creatures can see in starlight conditions where humans would be nearly blind. Their retinal rods are highly specialized, allowing them to spot the faintest movements of prey like insects in pitch-black environments. Supersonic Hearing. Radar dish ears. Their ears aren't just big and adorable. They're also acrobatically mobile. Galagos can move their ears independently like a pair of tiny radar dishes, scanning for insect wings or the rustle of a predator. They can hear frequencies far beyond human range, detecting high-pitched insect sounds and even subtle vocal cues from other Galagos. Incredible leaping ability. Nature's spring-loaded acrobat. The Galago is truly an Olympic leaper. It can leap over 2¼ meters or about 7 feet in a single bound. For a creature barely 6 inches tall, that's, well, about the same as a human jumping across a tennis court in just one go. In laboratory settings, they've been recorded making 5 consecutive jumps in just a few seconds, launching themselves from branch to branch like caffeinated pinballs. Their long, muscular hind legs and specially adapted tendons act like springs, storing energy and releasing it with explosive force. It's biological parkour, only cuter. Gravity-defying agility, that's what sets Galagos apart. They have opposable thumbs and moist textured fingertips that help them cling to bark and leaves. Their fingers act like nature's suction cups. While flying through the air, they can twist and rotate mid-jump, adjusting their trajectory with acrobatic finesse. Honestly, it's like watching a flying squirrel crossed with a ninja gymnast. Culinary prowess. Bug Hunters Extraordinaire. Galagos are precision predators, using their night vision and hearing to detect insects mid-air or under leaves. A Galago can snatch a moth out of the air with one paw and munch it down with, well, terrifying efficiency. Some Galagos have evolved to feast on tree gum. They use specialized lower incisors, called a tooth comb, to scrape the gum out of bark, giving them the nickname gumivores. Social secrets and vocal trickery. So here's the thing. Despite their tiny size, Galagos actually have really rich social lives. They communicate with a wide range of vocalizations, including clicks, chirps, whistles, and even these baby-like cries. Which, by the way, is where the name bush baby comes from. When it comes to territory, males mark their turf with urine. Yep, classic primate move. And they're not shy about battling rivals using screams, scent, and some pretty impressive leaps. And Galago moms, sometimes they'll carry their babies in their mouths or just park them in safe spots while they go out hunting. It's basically like bush daycare. Ancient and resilient. A living fossil? Galagos belong to a primitive group of primates called strepsirrhines, which are closely related to lemurs and lorises. Even though they evolved long before monkeys and apes, they've stuck around virtually unchanged for tens of millions of years. I mean, talk about proof that sometimes ancient designs really are the best. Some thought, why the Galago deserves superhero status? Let's be honest, if you had superpowered night vision, bat-level hearing, Spider-Man wall climbing, grasshopper leaps, and the ability to be both cute and predatory, you'd probably be the star of your own comic book. But the Galago? It just does all this quietly, in the shadows of the African forests, moonlight glinting off its eyes, waiting for the next great leap. Now, let's go full National Geographic on the Galago, this time exploring its life cycle, diet, habitat, and those juicy mating rituals that keep this tree-hopping marvel going through the ages. The life of a Galago, you know, it's really a journey from cradle to canopy. Life cycle, tiny to tenacious. It all starts at birth and early life. The gestation period, well, it's around 110 to 140 days, depending on the species. Litter size is usually 1 or 2 offspring, though, interestingly, some species can have up to 3. Galagos give birth in tree hollows or dense foliage nests, keeping their newborns hidden from predators. Babies are born blind, furless, and honestly, incredibly vulnerable. True marsupial-level helplessness. And here's a fun fact. Mothers will often park their babies on a secure branch or in a nest while they go off to forage for food. Yes, it's kind of like a jungle stroller. Growing up bush baby. After a few days to weeks, their eyes open and their fur comes in. Within a month, these little ones start climbing and even leaping short distances. Around 6 weeks, they begin to eat solid food, but may continue to nurse for up to 3 months. By 3 to 4 months, juveniles leave their mothers, but often they stick around nearby. Adulthood and longevity in these fascinating creatures is, well, pretty remarkable. They reach sexual maturity at about 10 to 12 months old. In the wild, their lifespan is usually around 3 to 5 years. But in captivity, with no predators and steady meals, they can live up to 12 or even 15 years. When it comes to diet and food, it's all about gum, bugs, and the occasional fruit salad. Their primary diet starts with tree gum, especially in smaller species like the Senegal bush baby. They actually chew tree bark to stimulate gum flow, then lick or scrape it off using a special tooth comb. Gum is a vital energy source, especially during dry seasons. Next up are insects, crickets, moths, beetles, pretty much anything crunchy and protein-packed. Galagos are ambush predators, leaping onto their prey with surgical precision. They're also opportunistic feeders, so when fruit is in season, they're not shy about grabbing a sweet treat. Nectar is pretty rare, but they definitely enjoy it when they can get it. And every now and then, larger species will eat small birds or lizards. Bet you didn't see that coming from such a cutie. Now let's talk about their habitat. These little masters of the midnight forest have quite the range. They're found across sub-Saharan Africa, from Senegal all the way to South Africa. They prefer environments like woodlands, savannas, forests, and scrublands. With their arboreal lifestyle, they're almost always in the trees and rarely come down to the ground unless they absolutely have to. For nesting and shelter, they use tree hollows, vine tangles, or leafy nests built from leaves and moss. Depending on the species, they might share nests with family members or rest alone. When it comes to mating rituals, there's definitely some tiny drama in the treetops. These animals are seasonal breeders, with mating usually tied to rainfall and food availability. For most species, males travel great distances to find receptive females. Male rivalry is pretty common. They compete by scent-marking territory with urine or gland secretions, vocalizing, chasing rival males, and even engaging in sparring matches that can get surprisingly intense for such tiny animals. Females go into estrus for just a couple of days, and mating is often quick and stealthy, especially in species with multiple male suitors. Some species are polygynous, with males mating with multiple females, while others are more solitary. As for paternal investment, nope. Males are absentee dads. After mating, they bounce, literally. Female Galagos are the sole caregivers, investing heavily in their offspring's survival.